Hello, and welcome to POMA Does, a podcast produced by the Pennsylvania Osteopathic Medical Association. We provide a voice for osteopathic medicine and share insights on issues important to osteopathic physicians, residents, and students, as well as those who embrace the osteopathic philosophy. POMA's mission is to promote the distinctive philosophy and practice of osteopathic medicine for our patients, our members, and the communities we serve. Thanks for tuning in.
Hello, everyone. My name is Chrissy Eisenhardt, and I'm the president of APOMA. Joining me on this podcast is previous presidents Karen Tabby and Lori Hildebrand. Karen currently serves as our treasurer this year, and Lori is our previous past president. We are hoping to explain to you all what an advocate is and how you can join our fun organization. So an advocate is a person who publicly supports or recommends a particular cause or policy. That's what Merriam-Webster defines it as. And an advocate for POMA, which is what we are, our advocates are diverse in membership and tied together with the purpose of promoting osteopathic medicine to the public and strengthening the osteopathic family. We are physicians, spouses, partners, family members, friends, office staff, and supporters of osteopathic medicine. Karen, would you like to talk about how you became an advocate?
Yeah, I'd love to share a long history I've had as an advocate because my father was an osteopathic physician and my mother had been an advocate, which was formerly known as an auxiliary, from the beginnings when he was in medical school all the way through to the last years of his life. She's still with us, thankfully. And as an auxiliary member back when she was young, they would bring dinners and snacks and surprises to the hospital where the residents and interns were busily treating patients and spending no time at home. And then she just got involved locally in Pennsylvania, and the advocates would have a presence at the POMA meeting every year. And she got active with the people helping to hand out packets. And that's how she actually got me involved. She said they needed help handing out the packets to the registrants before the convention opened. And as a reward for that, I would get dinner at a nice place. That seemed like a good deal to me. So I started doing it, and she loved having me there. And then I would see the same people every year. And it was really a lot of fun. And that's how I really got involved. And then later on, after just doing it for the dinner, I realized that it was really an important part of my life as well. My brother also is an osteopathic physician, and I've just loved my association with the group. Lori, why don't you tell us about your experiences?
Sure. I actually started working for an osteopathic physician back in 1992. And back then, she used to attend the conventions, which were at Adams Mark in Philadelphia. And I would go with her because they had a class for the office administrators. And it was a large group that would show up. We would have 2 days of classes. And during the second day, we would meet with the auxiliary, and they would have either a breakfast or a luncheon for us with either a lecture or we had entertainment. And that's how I got to meet some of the auxiliary at that time. Years went by and our classes fell off. And I remember the physician I worked for was on the board of POMA. And I drove her to one of the meetings that they had. And I was sitting in a boardroom by myself, just waiting for her meeting to be over, when Karen and Liz Swallow showed up for their advocate meeting. And I had met Karen, I think, one time at a different convention. It was during a cooking demonstration that the advocates had. And I had known Liz from other conventions, and they're like, hey, we are the advocates and we would love for you to join us. And that's how it happened. They're like, you can join us. And I'm like, okay, that's how I became an advocate. How about you, Chrissy? When did you join?
Well, I have the history because both of my in-laws are osteopathic doctors. One was an ER doc and the other one was a private practice physician. So my journey's kind of been 33 years off and on, but I didn't really formally become an advocate till about 5 years ago. And Lori, you asked me if I wanted to come on with APOMA, and I was like, sure. So, having in-laws, but also seeing a DO for years for my sciatic issues and other things, I understood the difference between an MD and a DO and why I wanted to advocate for osteopathic medicine versus allopathic medicine. So that's a bit about my journey.
The one thing I did want to add is the osteopathic physician that I worked for 30 years happens to be Chrissy's mother-in-law.
It's a small world.
It is. It's a family organization. We bring not only the youngins in with us who start out early as students, but then, we stay together all the way almost through retirement, which I really like seeing the many different phases that our organization can help and support each other through. Recently, we changed the way that we have impact in our organization. So we used to have a more general impact where we gave a large portion of our donations to stethoscopes and white coats. But we decided we wanted to change that up a few years ago and have a more direct impact in giving scholarships out to SOMA presidents and SGA presidents at the Pennsylvania schools. On a monthly basis, I meet with the president of POMA, which right now is Dr. John Collada, and the SGA presidents and the SOMA presidents at all the schools. And we talk about what's going on in their lives and what they need our assistance with. So actually about 2 years ago, we started a direct scholarship fund for those folks where we give them $500 to each of the SGA president and the SOMA president at the Pennsylvania locations. And it's been great to get to meet these kids and to see them rise on a national level. For example, one of the people last year is now president of Nationally SOMA. And she started out her journey through one of the schools and was very active in our monthly calls. And it's great to see her rise, and she was one of our scholarship recipients. And so she has kept in touch and has filled us in on what is going on in her life. There's another one from last year also that he is on the SGA side who is on the national level. So it's just great to see our direct impact with these kids, learning and meeting with them and understanding what their needs are out in society, as well as how we can help them. So besides them receiving a scholarship, they also receive a free 1-year membership to APOMA for either themselves or somebody in their family or friends for them to get to know us and to have support. Karen or Lori, would you like to talk about the national level of scholarship impact that we have?
Sure. On the national level, through the Advocates for the American Osteopathic Association, which the three of us are also board members, we have 2 different grants that we offer. At Christmas time, we have the Holiday Hug Grant, which helps 2 deserving families with a $500 grant each to help with their holiday expenses. And then we also have the Donna Jones Mortisugo Award, which is awarded to the spouse or significant other of a graduating medical student who really supported and helped their student along their path.
Yes, I know that's a really common thing, going back to even the early days of the advocates of the auxiliary, is that the spouse of the medical student was the one working and possibly also raising a family at the same time while the medical journey was going on. It takes a lot of effort to get there, and we really appreciate those people who are doing all that's necessary to make it happen. And we like to be there for them to make it easier on them, and also, to give them friendship and an ear to listen to the problems that do come about. They're not alone in those issues, and there's ways around them.
Another thing, the way we raise our money to be able to provide these scholarships is at our yearly POMA convention. The advocates have been holding, we started off with a silent auction where we would get as many donations as we could and we would raffle them off. And now the last couple of years, the local districts from Pennsylvania have been donating baskets to us, and people come and bid on them. And that's how we've been raising our money. Another way, Chrissy has applied the last 2 years in a row for a grant from the AAOA through our Special Projects Fund and has received money that has been going towards our scholarships as well.
It's been interesting to see how on a national level as well as on a local level, how we all tie back to the same thing with wanting to help students and student spouses or significant others in their journey. And whether that's through an organization like us or whether it's providing scholarships or mental health workshops or any other workshops that anybody thinks would be helpful for the students and their families as they go along the journey from medical school through internship, residency, and then becoming a doctor and, the 30 years that they're a doctor and then into retirement. I mean, that's one of the things that I really like is how it's kind of full circle, right? And we're able to talk to multiple levels of people and bring people into our organization at times when they may need us or we may need them.
Well, they might wonder, who can become an advocate? Does it have to be a spouse's wife or significant other? It does not. It can be anyone. Like I was an office staff of an osteopathic physician. From what I was told years ago, it was only the spouses and they wouldn't even allow anybody else to join. But now we're open to anybody, husbands, wives, aunts, uncles, the parents, even a neighbor or just a patient of an osteopathic physician who really feels that the osteopathic philosophy helps them and they want to help promote it as well.
Yeah. And you don't have to be a woman to join, right? I mean,
no, not at all.
We had 2 men that were on our board because their wives are DOs and they were like, this is great, and wanted to get it out there. This isn't just for women. It's for men and women at various levels who just want to support the osteopathic profession. So I thought it was great to have their perspective because it's a little different, right? Coming from their side versus coming from our side. But I mean, we're all there for the same reason, and that's to support osteopathic medicine.
The physicians themselves can even become an advocate because they're the biggest supporters of the osteopathic profession.
Absolutely. And becoming an advocate for POMA is very easy. I mean, if you're a physician, you can check the box on your membership when it comes due and pay the $25 to become a member. Or if you're like us, not the physician or, somebody in the community, you can just go and email us and say you want to become an advocate, send your $25 check-in. And we had some really good success this year going to the convention at Kalahari as well as in Hershey, where we were able to get about 20 new members, which weren't doctors, but spouses or office staff or just somebody who was there that wanted to support the osteopathic doctors. So that $25 as well as the fundraisers that we do go all back to the scholarship, as well as we had a family fun event. This was our first year in Kalahari where we played some mini golf and had 40 people join us, 40 all new people. And it was great for us to get there and meet them. And hopefully they will see our value and want to become advocates maybe next year in Kalahari. So
I'm sure they'll be looking for us.
Yeah, definitely. So at the end, I will throw up our email address for people to jot it down and to contact us. We also send out pretty much a quarterly newsletter that keeps the members up to date as to where they can find events going on for APOMA or the national level or how they can support the advocates. So those are just 2 ways. We're also on the POMA website under affiliates. You can go in under there and you can see our website there. We're on Facebook under APOMA. You can come out there and like us and follow us along there. So there's many ways to meet us and join us and become a member. And we look forward to seeing and meeting everybody who wants to join us.
So they might also be wondering what is going to be required of me if I decide to become an advocate. So we do meet 4 times a year. Doesn't always have to be in person. We can do a Zoom meeting, but we do have 4 meetings a year, and that's mainly for the board. We have a once a year meeting with the POMA convention where it is open for all members to attend, but they could even join our board and help even more.
So I am going to flash up right now our email address for everybody to see. It's advocatesforpoma@gmail.com is the easiest way to contact us for you to become a member or for you to get on our mailing list to find out when you can see us out in the wild. We just came back from OMED, which was very successful for the advocates of Pennsylvania. We had our whole board join the national delegacy there, as well as for the 3 of us to gain new positions on the national board. So there's many ways to advocate, not just locally, but also nationally. But locally is probably the easiest way to start your journey.
So if you're planning to be at one of the next local or national events, please let us know because we're probably going to be there and we would really love to meet you.
Well, we will sign off for now, but thank you for joining Karen, Lori, and I today to learn about what an advocate is and how you can become an advocate. And we look forward to seeing y'all at the next event.
Thank you for joining us for this edition of POMA Does. Be sure to subscribe to POMA Does wherever you listen to your podcasts, and tell your friends and colleagues to tune in. Learn more about osteopathic medicine and POMA on our webpage, www.poma.org, and join the conversation on social media. We're on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, and YouTube. Or email us at poma@poma.org. We'd love to hear from you. Join us next time for another edition of POMA Does.